So this is my 10th year here, and my first year, it instantly became one of my absolute favorite conferences, and I've been coming every time I possibly could since. And I go home back to Chicago, and I talk all about it to everybody I know, and I've slowly been getting this like trickle of more and more and more people to come show up here. And this time we've got just a crazy amount of people from the Chicago, what we call the Chicagoland region.
It's a theme park that you'd visit.
Yeah, don't go to Chicagoland if you've seen the TV.
Cheers.
Hey, Mazel Tov.
James?
How do you say cheers here?
Salute. Salute.
Salte? Salte? That.
Right. Blah. Oh, I love Chick Chuck. So, really? Oh, man. You're a bad Canadian. So most of the folks up here are giving talks this year. Mike has, you gave a talk 2 years ago? 2 years ago. So everyone has or is going to be speaking here. And I was like, wow, there's a ton of us going. How can we capitalize on this? And I said to myself and nobody else, we should just have a panel about us and what we do and like how we all know each other.
So wrong, right?
So egotistical.
Yeah, I was like,
Everyone should hear about me.
to be fair, it was, what's the least amount of work to still justify having a talk? It's all a panel, right? Because we all love panels. This isn't going to be so much like moderated panel where we ask questions and people give strange takes on things. It's going to be more of a conversation because we've all been very instrumentally involved in this thing called Burbsec. Why didn't that switch? There we go. This thing called Burbsec down in Chicagoland. Burbsec is our meetup group. I think we all know what meetups are, probably, yeah. We have been operating for about 15 years as an information security meetup group in Chicagoland. How many people would you say show up monthly total amongst all of the meetups?
It's got to be 150.
Removing like
East
data,
gets
200 probably.
data duplication, because some people go to like 3 or 4.
Some people do go to 3 or 4. Yeah, we should talk about how many we have. So we started as just one out in the suburbs. We called it Burbsec Prime.
That's the best one.
No, it's not.
You're going to get a taste for who runs which ones here.
It was the best one.
Right now we've
That's
got
true.
Right now we've got seven or eight. We've got Prime, North, South, East, West, Southeast,
Northwest,
Las Vegas,
and
Galway, Ireland.
And South Bend.
And that's southeast.
Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah. In Galway, Ireland, we actually, and you go, how the heck are you guys in Galway, Ireland? And even
Gall of you saying it that way.
We're in Chicago. It's Galway. And you go, how the heck do you get a meetup group that like spiders out like that? And it was because we had members who so desperately loved coming to our meetups and had such an amazing time and integrated it into their lives and really changed the course of their lives and their careers, et cetera, that when they moved away to Las Vegas, to Galway, et cetera, they would repeat to themselves, man, I really miss going to Burbsec. And we would say, well, just start your own. And really, that's how we ended up with North, South, East, West, et cetera, is people would say, well, I love going, but it's too far. Just start your own.
If you've ever driven in Chicago, you know exactly why, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I started north. It was an hour and a half for me to get to Burbsec West, and I was like, fuck this.
Start your own. Sorry. And then he did.
And that's to go 20 miles, right?
Yeah, you want to see the kilometers?
Oh, yeah.
Real freedom.
2 kilometers.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Math works. It works.
And so, you probably, I'm sure you guys have your information security meetups here, and you might even be asking yourself, like, wow, what the heck is going on at your guys' meetups that makes people like so desperately want to attend them? And actually, Robert's going to be talking about that a little bit in his talk tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to go in depth on how we evolved from the very early CitySec movement, as well as the mental health and sociological importance of meetup groups and what it can do for our community. So the power of community is something I'm going to dig into tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen it do.
Right, yes, exactly.
And like what really motivates us to get up here and talk to people about it. And we're going to get into the framework and stuff that works. So yeah, that's what a Burbsec is. We're just a meetup group of people. We're like-minded people who all got together.
Like-minded.
Well, we have like
Don't forget Kyle, Darkest Dot. We're not like.
there's some common thread. We all like
Fair enough.
hard drives. I don't know.
Well, I think to build on the earlier comment about why do we have one in Las Vegas and Galway, is it's not so much somebody's like, I want to go to Burbsec because Burbsec's so cool. It's more like they're just looking for a combination of the like-minded, but other people in the industry that they can hang out, talk about other things, whether it's what they did that weekend, and then complain about their users while drinking.
Exactly. Yeah.
The original rules, I think, were you have to show up. That's rule 1.
Yep.
And then complain about work.
At least one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and complain about work, and then have a beer. And then we actually have eliminated the have a beer rule. We'll talk about that later.
So we set the bar just at as low as possible, the least amount of possible effort, which I think has really been one of the keys.
Have you ever tried showing up? It's hard.
Yeah, like, but like the people who show up are people who show up.
Yeah.
So,
But it is key. So part of the reason why CitySec in general started up was there are tons of associations you can join in InfoSec, right? ISACA, ISSA, you have to pay dues, there's a formal presentation, Infogard, things like what
The
I don't
OWASP
think they know
meetings
Infogard. But there's a lot of effort. I mean, I tried to run a snort user group in Chicago, and I did it for a while, but it was because there was this expectation of a presentation every time, not that kind of snorting, David. It became very difficult to maintain it, right? Because I always had to find a speaker, and trying to do that by yourself,
And overall, we live in Chicago. You got to say, wow, there's got to be 100 meetups there that you can go to, and there are. OWASP, ISSA, Infogard, like Robert was listing. There's DevSecOps user groups. It's insane up there.
At least 3 Linux user groups.
Yeah, 3. Well, yeah, because you have to have the Arch people on their own.
Python, lots of Python.
And the overall problem that our core group way back when had was a lot of these meetups, perhaps all of the meetups, followed this framework that was not really conducive to community building. And it was, you'd show up, you would get 30 to 45 minutes of networking, which is barely enough time to sit down and say, hey, how you been, how you doing, and then meet someone new, before you're then all told, okay, everybody has to go in this room over here and shut up and sit down because a vendor is going to come up here and tell you about how cool their product is. And then when they're done, you're all going to go the hell home. And that was what they would call a meetup. And they'd say, oh, it's really good for networking and professional advancement. I'm like, this is fucking terrible.
sucks.
Yeah, well, the other thing is when you show up, you've got to give them your information so that whoever's speaking can justify being there, and then you get harassed by salespeople.
Yeah.
What I love about Burbsec is you opt in to give what you want to give. So you join a Discord server, and half the time we're like, welcome, PG 1956329. Like, we don't know who the hell it is because they want to remain anonymous. And as long as they're not acting in ways that are violating our code of conduct, we don't care.
Yeah, the Discord's a good point. Around 2021, during COVID, meetups were just not happening. Things were trying to reopen. We were going from being pretty strong meetups to nobody showing up anymore for good reason. And I had taken over management of my company's Discord server, and I said, well, I should build one of these for Burbsec. We had a Slack for a while. It was okay, but Discord can really make things a lot of fun. I moved us over to Discord in 21, and as of today, we've got about 1,500 people in it.
Which is crazy. I never see 1,500 people show up to Prime.
Yeah, and when we talk
Lazy people.
And when we talk to people in the Discord, a lot of them don't live in Chicagoland.
Yeah.
A lot of them hear about Burbsec from us talking about it and mentioning it in our other talks. And they'll go, wow, a community that's just like me and is, fostering, they're like very open to new people who maybe don't know everything yet, like we all do. Everybody here knows everything, right? And they've just really taken a liking to it. And so it's cool that the Discord has really become its own Burbsec meetup, independent of all the other ones, for reasons that we're going to dive into here. So we want to talk about why, what makes Burbsec work? Why did we start meetup number 307 in Chicago when we already had something to do? And it's to get away from all the other problems and create something that was good. First off, we have no obligations other than you have to show up. That's all that you have to do there.
Oh, to comment on that, someone asked me if we have virtual meetings. And we used to during COVID, yeah. But it would kind of defeat the purpose to have a virtual meeting right now. That's not the nature of this.
I have not found that virtual meetings are really conducive to good networking.
It's all good.
Personally, I don't know. It's that face-to-face that really does something. But one of the biggest important things is that there's no dues, there's no fees. We do not ever charge any money for anything. And that's a huge thing. We get groups that ask us like, hey, how do we get more of the Burbsec people to come to our meetups? And the first thing I always tell them is, stop asking them for money. A lot of them are students who don't have money.
Yeah.
And you're asking them for, it's only $20. And they say, well, it cost me $20 to take 3 buses to get here. And now you want $20 more to talk to people for 45 minutes? No. Our thing is we do not ask for any money ever and ever.
Real quick though, like showing up is the requirement, but it is not like you got to show up every time. Show up when you want. I see people like once every 3 years sometimes, and I'm like, oh, you're looking for work.
Yeah, right. They always are. They're like, oh, where you been, man? Oh, well, I got laid off, so I came. All right, cool.
In Texas, in Austin, there's a group called AHA, Austin Hacker Association, and they have a rule that anonymous. Yeah. Oh, you can show up, but after the second or third time you show up, you've got to present, and if you don't present, you don't come back.
Gross.
Yeah,
I know.
gross.
I feel dirty talking about it.
Don't like it.
But I still love AHA.
That's a lot of pressure, right? Yeah.
We don't require presentations. Not only do we not require them, we don't do them. We don't allow them. We did have, and maybe we could talk about this later, but we did have on weeks that had 5 Thursdays, or months that had 5 Thursdays, we would do, what did we call it? Burbsec open mic, where that allowed people to practice presentations that they were working on for conferences. But the general meetups, no, you don't have to bring anything. No money, no presentations, some of the 2,600 groups say we got to show up with an exploit or a hack. Nothing. We want to be as open and welcoming as possible, and not just to information security workers, but just enthusiasts, IT people, anybody who's just into it. You do not have to work in the industry. You do not have to work in IT. You can be a teacher. You can be a figure skater.
There's a guy that's a restaurant manager that comes to North every single month, and he's like teaching himself, like hacking the box and whatever, so that he can make a career transition. And he goes there just to talk to people to find out what he needs to learn.
Yeah, and
if there's ever an opening, he's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. That all really does lead into like fostering this welcoming environment. And that's one of those things that's really easy to say, right? Oh, we are a welcoming environment, and we try to serve a welcoming environment. But how do you do that? Being a welcoming environment is extremely active. It's not passive. It's not I smile when I see people. It's not I'm not mean, so that means I'm welcoming. It's active. And Robert, I think, is the most active welcomer. He's our Walmart greeter. But go through your process.
Well, yeah. So actually, I'll tell this in my talk tomorrow. But for those of you that won't be able to make it because it's late in the afternoon tomorrow, one of the things that I think we stumbled on it accidentally. But people would
we
come.
We stumbled on all of this.
Well, that's true. All of this is after the fact realization of what we've been doing for 15 years, right?
Yes.
And putting it to paper. But one of the things I used to do, people would come up to me all the time and say, "How do I get into cyber? How do I get into InfoSec?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, right there you go, Christian." And I would say, "Well, come to Burbsec. You'll meet so many people. They're super nice." And every once in a while, someone would say, "Oh yeah, I went there." And everybody was really cliquey, right? They wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah, this was an old problem.
Yeah. So I thought,
because that's what happens, especially when you have a group you really like.
Right.
Why do you like it? Because there's going to be the people you liked last time will be there, and so you get in your little group again and catch up and talk, and now you're in a little circle.
And I thought about this, and I'm trying to think of everybody I know that goes there. I'm like, nobody I know is cliquey. Why did this person perceive it this way? And then I realized, oh. Well, because everybody was talking about something really intense that they just did last week or whatever, and you're standing over there like you're at an 8th grade dance, like not saying anything, right? So we've done one tiny little magic thing, but oh my God, is this an amazing thing? So the organizers know to do this, and some of the people that are just regulars have started doing it too. And when someone shows up that's new, we go, oh, and you don't recognize them. You're like,
when they
hey.
got that look on their face.
Yeah, when they have a look on their face.
Like,
and we go, hey, here, first time at Burbsec? And yeah. Hey, everybody, this is Joe. It's his first time at Burbsec. And everybody goes, hey! And you would think that was a little thing. But oh my God, watching someone's face light up because all of a sudden they're connected to the group immediately.
Yeah, they're acknowledged by 100 people.
Right.
Or if they're an introvert, it can't get any worse. It's already hit bottom. It's just going to go up from there.
Right, this is the first stage of recovery from introversion. And then the other thing Robert does is say, what are you into? And talk to them for a little bit, not just Robert, whoever's greeting them. What do you do? What are you into? What are you trying to do? Get a taste for them and go, cool, you know who you should talk to is this person. And then walk them over and go, hey, this is Joe, first time here. Joe's into this and that. And then everybody will start talking to Joe. Just like push them into those circles of conversation. This goes amazingly well. And then we check in on them throughout the night. You know, because we're, especially the organizers, we're constantly moving around. But if you pass somebody and you know they were new, you go, hey, how you doing? You having a good time? Are you meeting people? Are you making friends? Are you just doing that check-in, that catch-up? You get some feedback, and if there's something you can fix right away, you fix right away. But it's pretty universally, whenever I run into somebody and it's their first time, and I go, are you having a good time? Are you moving around? And I like to make sure they're moving around, because it's real easy for someone to just post up in a chair, and then if they're new, no one's going to go talk to them aside from us and say, make sure, hey, let's get you meeting people. And then it's like, I don't know the percentages, but an insane number of people always come back, because that first experience is like they met people, they were welcomed. And especially like, if they're, I'm just a student, I'm just starting out, I just switched my major to cybersecurity. That can make people feel like they don't belong there, right? Especially when there's people like us who've been working in the industry for 15 plus years. You go, no, you introduce them you go, there's 50 people here in your same boat. You're with them, absolutely. Come on in.
You don't know shit? Welcome to the club. Let's have a beer.
Yeah. So again, welcoming environment is a very active process, and that's, if there's like one takeaway from this, if you're looking to try to start a meetup or get yours working, get more people, that's your bullet point, because that's what I see not happening at all of the meetups I go to, where I'm like, this kind of sucks. Yeah, it's that isn't there.
And it's not like it's easy, right? I mean, find the folks in your group that are super connectors or have somehow overcome their introversion, right? Because the majority of us are either introverts or we're somewhere on the spectrum. We're neurospicy in some way. But
most of us are introverts.
Right.
We just talk a ton because we're with group people who are like us, who are into the same things. You catch us outside of there and we barely say 5 words. So it's, we're like you, buddy.
So I don't know how welcoming this is, but when there's somebody who's new and you can kind of see that look on their face or the way they're asking questions, I was like, is this your first Burbsec? And they're like, yeah. Well, I could tell. And it's probably but we're glad you're here. I kind of like flip it, but try to have a little fun. It's more of an icebreaker, because it's like a weird way to respond. That's just me. But you do you, but then they kind of get relaxed, and then we talk for like 20 minutes. So it works for me. I don't recommend it at home.
I've always been a big fan of asking them how they found out about the meetup,
we
where they're
always
coming
do.
That's a
from,
good one.
and like how they got to where they
told you
are
about
there.
this?
Because then it's
broke the
more
first
information for us on how can we have better outreach to more people that are coming from that same location. It helps just grow organically.
Yeah, and
Years, like the 15, all the years we've been doing it, and Chicago is a big town, but like every month I run into people in the industry and I'm like, you guys know about Burbsec, right? And they're like, what? I'm like, Jeebus Christ. Yeah, all right, here's a website. It's got a giant GIF on the front page. Don't worry about that. There's one near you. I don't know where you live yet, but there's one near you. Come on out and have some good times.
yeah, there's a reason we got into InfoSec and not marketing, because we suck at marketing.
well, I got a whole slide on that too.
How we suck.
That's it. Other things, getting away from that, one thing that really helps with growth, especially, and recurring attendance, is this consistent schedule and consistent location. Too many meetups out there are in a different place every month. They're usually monthly, which that's per location. That's how we found work. Yeah. So they're every month. You got to remember. Let me go look at the OWASP Chicago website. Let me see where they're at.
They're super inconsistent.
Let me hope they're at a place I can get to from where I live, and sometimes that just doesn't work out. And let me see who's speaking, and which is that can be a turn on or turn off. And then there are different times too, like, this one starts at 4 for some reason, because that was where the corporate location that they were able to get a space in was allowing them. They go, we only got 4 to 6 this month. And it's just a big mess. If you can keep your meetup at the same place at the same time every occurrence, every month or whatever you do it, that is huge. Because you then even get those people who show up 3 years later who go, this happens all the time. They're like, oh, you guys are still here, huh? Yeah, we've been here for 15 years, man. And it makes it real easy. They can make a recurring event in their personal calendar. I tell people that all the time. Like, just put it in your calendar. You don't have to go because it's in your calendar every month, but it's always right there. Real easy to do recurring events. Same place, same time, all the time. And that helps you get, like I said, recurring attendance. And that's really important because then when people come back, people they hoped will be there also come back. Because if you got a different group of people every time, it's like, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. But if you get the same groups of people, and then there's always a few more every time, hopefully, people start to really look forward to going. Like, oh, I love going to Burbsec. Why? Because all my friends are there. Where did you make those friends? Well, I made them at Burbsec.
Yeah. So, I helped create or founded whatever. I'm one of the organizers for Burbsec North, so the north suburbs of Chicago. And in over 10 years, we've had 4 different locations. And it's not because we were like, it's time to change location. Everywhere we went, and we would talk with the owner of the restaurant, because we try to find a bar and a restaurant together, because a bar alone could be problems, and a restaurant alone, you'll get fewer people.
We got
Seriously.
that coming up later, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but we lost venues because literally the last one close their doors. Like, we were there a week before they shut their doors. They never even said, by the way, things are not looking good. We're like, yeah, how's everything? Oh, it's great. And then we drive by and the sign is off the building. Yeah. It's really bizarre. And we're scrambling. So we skipped a month, but then everybody was like, we missed Burbsec last month and we had 27 people show up. So it was a record month for us.
Yeah.
But the point is, even though when our venue changes, we try to keep that model very consistent. There's something for somebody to get a drink, whatever kind of drink it is, and there's something for someone to eat because they might be just coming from work.
Yeah.
So keep that model, and
Yeah,
that'll
we're going
work
to
for
dive
you
into
too.
that in a bit.
Oh, sorry.
For sure. All right, the last big thing here is the passive sponsors. Now, first off, we do not have a policy of having sponsors. We're not always sponsored, and that's a big thing. The way I say it is, we could buy our own beer. I don't need pushy salespeople in here who want to come and give a presentation for 45 minutes or even 20 minutes on whatever product they're selling. No thanks. There's plenty of other meetups you can go to and go do that. We don't need that. People will gladly buy their own beer to not have to listen to the same crap they have to listen to at work all day. Absolutely. And that's been a big thing. And I've only ever had personally one sales guy that I've had to pull aside and go, hey man, you have to pull it back. You have to cut this out. Generally, when people come up to us, and it's crazy because they come to us now. I used to just when I would talk to a vendor at work or something, they'd say, oh, hey, by the way, if you guys want, I run a meetup. And I mean, just to talk about how do you get sponsors? How many times a week do you talk to any vendor? Ask them. Go, hey, by the way, I run a meetup here. We get about 10, 12 people, 60 people, however many you get. We're always looking for sponsors if you want to come on down and buy some drinks and get your name out there. And we put their name on the social media. We put their name on everything. It's in the Discord. We announce them when they come in. We say, hey, when new people come in, go, hey, make sure you go say hi to the sponsor. But we tell the sponsors, no pushy sales tactics, no cornering people. But you're welcome to talk about everything.
You're here
absolutely.
to make friends.
Right. You're here to make friends.
Yeah.
And if they want to talk to you about your product and stuff, absolutely, go nuts. But don't be cornering people. And that's huge because when you're cornering people, that creates that negative space that a lot of the other meetups do that we just absolutely wanted to make sure that we're not doing. And what's cool now is we have some meetups that rarely don't have a sponsor. And we're, again, not out there asking anymore. They just come to us because everybody has heard about us and the number of people that we attract. And so that's gotten really cool. And the sponsors, they can choose what they pick up. We understand everyone's got a different budget. Some sales guys don't have $1,200 to pick up beer and pizza for 60 people. Fine, what do you got? $300, $400? You could buy a round of drinks. You could just pick up beers. Do drink tickets. You could do a raffle for some cool Lego sets or something. However you want to sponsor, absolutely, come on in. That's another big thing is working with them because they say, well, what does it cost to sponsor? Well, hang on, let's talk about what we can. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got one fun anecdote about a sponsor that we had 10 years ago. Bought beers at a smaller event. There might have been 30 of us at the time. And it was very cool because they weren't there to sell their product. They said, hey, we got this thing that we think you guys might want to be interested in. Anyone want to look at it? And a handful of us were like, sure. Pulls out a laptop, goes through it. And at the time,
Is that Ben?
no, this was Carbon Black before it,
It was Carbon Black.
yeah, before it was even like public at the time. And this was groundbreaking because no one was doing MDR.
This was the guy who was writing Carbon Black, Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Who just showed up and was like, oh, here's what I'm playing with. And
Like,
it was
this
like-
was the coolest thing ever at the time.
Yeah, and it was insane. This is gonna be, what's that? $1 billion. Oh, yeah. And literally, it's about 18 months later, and I ran into him, and he was telling me he's on the road 360 days a year, as the CTO of Carbon Black, and it really took off, and then he sold it for $1 trillion. And he was a Burbsec guy.
Also, I've noticed over the years that really the vibe and the way that people interact at these events, the best salespeople, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for, oh, let me tell you about my product.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are looking to build relationships with people, to like get to know people in the community and have it, their sales be more of an organic thing. And some of our strongest advocates are guys in sales.
Oh, yeah. We get so many sponsors from salespeople who have come through who are so successful that they tell other sales guys, you have to go to Burbsec. And how are they successful? Not to give a talk on how to be a salesperson, but as a salesperson, your job is to make friends, and then as a friend, you go, hey, we're friends, right? As a friend, I think this is the thing that's going to work best for you. That's sales. And so they come in and they know, well, I got to keep coming in all the time, and I'm going to make a bunch of friends, and then people are going to trust me, and then they're probably going to buy something from me. We see that model work so well versus the let me give a presentation on a product that you could also just go watch on YouTube. And so we've got really good repeat sponsors who are making themselves and their companies rich by just being cool. How crazy is that? Keeping it moving. So where do you host a meetup? A lot of folks who are trying to start a meetup like to start a meetup they can walk to from their house. We've had I didn't start that one.
A lot of really smart, handsome people like to have it down the block.
JD started that one. And sometimes we've had that be a problem. South had that problem for a long time where it was close to the guy who ran its house, and for years, at best, 4 people would show up to this meetup. And I kept telling him, you have to move it. You have to move it. There's no one where you live. Please move this. And then finally, somebody else took it over and moved it, and it's been exploding. Yeah. Generally, what we find works is you want to be around a high IT general population. How do you find where that is? Look for wherever the tech stores are. I don't know if you don't have micro centers up here, but corporate centers. Anywhere there's large corporate centers, a lot of corporate headquarters. You're going to have IT people who live near there.
Which was easier prior to COVID. So Burbsec
sure.
Prime was right near Zurich and Motorola and everything else. So there was a built-in audience. They would get off of work and just go, I'm going out for a drink with hackers.
Yeah.
Now, with everybody working from home, figuring out where that isn't always easy.
Yeah, they still, I don't know, it's hard to say. Those populations still grow kind of near the corporate centers because you're going to move where everybody else lives kind of thing. You want to be near breweries? Hackers love breweries. And in general, wherever there's a lot of breweries, that usually tends to be more of the higher income bracket, which generally tells you probably a lot of IT amongst other things. And so that's a good sign. This is literally like, where do I look on Google Maps to figure out where these people are living? And it's those things.
Yeah. Oftentimes, what we look for is a solid combination of are there some larger businesses that are businesses large enough to have security people?
Yeah.
And then is there also a kind of residential area, which is where the Burbsec Prime, the best Burbsec in my suburb. There's lots of big businesses, lots of tech people, and then lots of people live in that suburb as well. So people would come after work and then hang out for a bit and head home, but people would be maybe working downtown, head home, have dinner, and then come out to Burbsec, which would still be going on because what else are we going to do?
Yeah. And to that note, you want it to be accessible via all of the mechanisms of travel that people have, from trains to cars. And by cars, you want to have parking, and that can be a tricky thing if you're living in the city. You want to make it as easy as possible for everybody to get to you via whatever their preferred means of transportation is. Of course, you're going to be limited to what's available in your region, but generally, if you don't have much available, Cars are probably going to be okay. You're probably not overladen with vehicles and parking. But you want to put it somewhere where if somebody takes the train and another person drives, they're both going to be able to get there really easy. You don't want it to be 6 miles or kilometers. How many? 7.8 kilometers away from a highway exit. You want to be able to get on and off the highway really quick. We found that helps a lot. People like to be able to get on the highway and head home, and that really helps for getting people from who live further away to come in, because you're trying to attract as many as people as possible. So you want to make it easy, not just for the people who live right there, but the people who have nothing out where they are, and they can still get in and out in a relatively fast manner.
All these are important factors in Chicagoland. Where you live may just be like, yeah, there's one place. I know exactly where it's going to happen.
Yeah, it may be easy for
And they
I know
have
all
free
the security
parking.
people already.
the one spot. Yeah,
Yeah, so.
yeah. And let's talk about what that venue should look like. Yeah, you've got a little bit of time here. What should we start here? Let's start at the second one first.
Just starting with refreshments?
Yeah, I'm gonna end on the communication because you'll see why. Generally, well, how about timing? You're gonna want to run this early in the day. You don't want to start at 8 p.m., right? You don't want to start at 9 p.m. You probably want to start around 6. You want to give people enough time to wrap up work. Generally, the workday ends around 5 o'clock, right? Give or take. You want to give people time to be able to wrap up and come out. Some people like to have dinner with their families, as Chris was saying beforehand, and then come out. We found 6 o'clock p.m. is the sweet spot. PM, yes. Most folks wander in between 6:30 and 7:30. There are a ton who will go home from work or log off, have dinner with the family, say, all right, it's a Burbsec night, I'm heading out, and show up about 7:30, and they'll stay till 9:30, 10 o'clock even, because they're having a great time. So that's when we found that sweet spot is about 6 p.m., but just make sure that you're going long enough for the people who want to show up at 7:30 or so can show up. Or you can start at 7, your call. Massage this, feel it out. You want to work with the people who are showing up. You don't want a rigid system that we told you to use. You want to massage this for what's going to work for whatever your situation looks like.
And for those folks who want to get out of their house, there's coffee hacks.
Oh yeah,
That too.
So now we've started having a lot of us who will meet up beforehand and co-work somewhere in a coffee house or something like that until Burbsec, then go to Burbsec. That's become real fun.
In part to beat traffic.
Oh yeah, to beat traffic, because we love going to so many of these. But as Dave was saying, like, Burbsec West.
It takes an hour.
It takes an hour to get to. So what I'll do, and it's because of traffic. But if I leave at noon, I can get there in 20 minutes. So I'll drive out at noon, meet up with some of these guys, work from wherever we can find some Wi-Fi all day, have fun, meet people, hang out, get work done, and
Probably open Wi-Fi, but yeah.
well, yeah, whatever. But a lot of folks are coming there straight from work and will need something to eat, and that's going to encourage them. You want a place that has some kind of food, something to eat, something to get rid of the hangries. So at least some light fare, though there's usually a significant number of people who like a full dinner if you can get a restaurant and bar that's going to be able to provide that. But at least pizza. A lot of people are sick of pizza. Pizza's not the best option. Some places that's all you can get. It's totally fine. It's better than nothing. Beer is pretty mandatory. There's too many people who like to have a beer after work. Totally understand. Love it. Absolutely want to have beer. Hackers really love bourbon. So we found the locations that have a really good bourbon selection tend to do a lot better. However, lately, post-pandemic, non-alcoholic has really been growing. And really in the past year, there's been a lot of data, at least in the US, around people just not drinking anymore. They're just, you know what? It's bad for you. I don't need it. Just going to stop.
And that's another hack we've stumbled upon. So we're bringing in a lot of business for these organizations, right? So
Yeah.
we've gotten to the point where and you will provide soft drinks for free to anybody that would not like to have a drink.
Talk about that offline.
Yeah, right.
Chris has some offline comments on that one. But it is real important, and it's of growing importance to make sure that there's non-alcoholic options available. Just about every place is going to have soda and water, though, right? But we've run into a few that don't, and we've had to work out some arrangements with them. And they're more than happy to work it out because they like having us there. Separate checks is huge, too. You got to have the ability for people to come and go as they please. And also, Can you imagine having to split a check 53 ways amongst a bunch of people?
I have.
And you're putting it on your card and you're coming up short and 6 people ditched out without paying. You got to have a place that does separate checks. That is one of the biggest sticking points for finding a location, I would say, is finding a place that's cool with separate checks. But if you find a place that's cool with separate checks, generally everything about that place is going to be cool and smooth sailing and it's going to work out. So that's a good sign that you found a good place, and maybe that's like a good opening conversation, opening part of the conversation to have with them.
Talk to a manager or an owner. Do not talk to somebody who cannot make that decision.
Oh, absolutely.
And enforce it.
Yeah, and so I mean that kind of leads into I got the communicate part up there. It's you initially, like when you're going to be you're probably going to be bringing 5 people at first, right? If you're starting a new meetup, you're not going to have a ton. But because we're doing we want to show up at the same time at the same place every month, it can be real easy to let that place know that you're coming and set that up with them in advance. Talk with the manager, talk with the general manager and say, hey, I got a group that's going to come in. I don't know how many we're going to have. It could be 5, it could be 12. Is there some spot, some corner you can put us in, and figure out what day is going to work best for that restaurant. Thursdays work really, really, really well for us. Burbsec Southeast finds Mondays work really, really well for them.
That's because the wings are half off at their restaurant. Yeah.
You don't want to do weekends.
So's the flavor.
Places are going to be packed on weekends. You don't want to do weekends. Find a weekday. People are more than happy to get out of the house on a weekday, and just make sure that the place has a spot for you. A lot of restaurants, bars, etc., will have like a party room, a back room that is never ever used on a Monday or a Tuesday or something. You say, can we just have the party room? Can you just put us back there? And a lot of times they're more than happy to get you out of the way, especially if you got a big group. Like 12, even 12 is a big group. So yeah, you know what? Just you guys can have that room on Mondays. We'll put it on the calendar.
But one of the issues we've run into with this is that while we're relatively organized, we're not an organization. And when you tell somebody like a restaurant, listen, hey, every month on like the first Thursday, between 12 and 72 people will be showing up, and they want to sell you an event package.
Right.
And
No, don't do it.
I got no money. There's no treasurer. There's no budget. Yeah. Like maybe someone's gonna pick up some drinks, but I don't control these people. I'm just warning you, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
That this is probably going to happen unless you tell us no. And we're trying to make it go as smoothly as possible because we don't want your staff quitting in the middle of Burbsec again.
Yes.
And avoid minimums. Avoid anybody that's saying you have to have a minimum commitment of X amount of funds, because if something happens and you can't meet that obligation, it's going to fall on whoever's organizing. Right. And then you're going to kill your meetup.
Yeah. Just don't agree to any minimums. And if the place won't work with you on that, that's not going to be the place.
That's not the right place. It's not the right place.
Thursday works really well because you're going to be bringing in money on otherwise a dead
A slow
night.
day. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want 12 extra checks or none? It's your call. And that 12 can grow to 30, Finally, atmosphere. This has been a big point of contention. We've learned a lot about atmosphere. Predominantly what you want is sound levels that allow for conversation. This is getting really tough in bars, right? Especially later in the evening. I don't know, in the US, post 6 p.m., a lot of the bars tend to turn the music way up so that you can only hear the person next to you and that's it, which is really the intention of playing the music that loud, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to have large groups, groups of 4 or 5 people talking to each other. So you need a place that's going to have volume levels that are conducive to groups of conversations.
Or at least willing to turn it down. We've had to train several bar managers to turn down the music for us during the meetings.
And especially if you're in a private room in the back, often they have separate audio controls and it's easy enough for them to do that, or turn the TVs down or whatever you have. You want to have, like we were talking about, the reserved seating, get a room if you can, This was a recent thing we realized, is the no trapped seats or long tables. A lot of restaurants that say, oh yeah, we could seat 25 people. We'll seat you at this 25-person table that's, kilometer long. And what happens there is everybody sits at the table, nobody gets up.
Imagine being stuck next to me all the entire event.
No, I don't want.
Probably not going to come back.
Well, it's also like the Last Supper, right? And it could very well be. Well, one of the things that it was a Passover Seder, buddy.
Whoa.
Let's talk.
That's mine.
Well, one of the things
Well, one
that
of these is
Mr.
this
Minion
one's.
here says is whenever
one's
we're
yours.
looking for a venue, make sure they have
that was
high
yours?
tops. Something that somebody can stand next to, or even some lower tables for somebody that needs to sit down. So keep that in mind as
Yeah.
well.
High tops are the best social engineering tool for social engineering introverts into being quasi-extroverts.
Yeah, it forces them to stand up, move around. Yeah, absolutely. The general bar setup that has at most a four top spread out. That's the best scenario. You want anything that forces people. Well, it doesn't stop people from mingling, moving around.
Right.
Long table,
key.
especially you got a long table with a back to the wall. If you sit in one of those chairs, this is you the rest of the night.
Yeah.
You're talking to 4 people at night. We don't like that. Even if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to let you do that. You need to be social. So don't, avoid those tables. If they give you long tables, it's usually a bunch of smaller tables they cram together. Break them up. Break up that
up,
room.
yeah.
I think this is the last one here. So advertising. How do you tell people that you exist?
We don't know.
What really annoys me is I'm going to come out of the gate with this. I fucking hate meetup.com. They are the worst.
You hate it. I pay for it.
Yeah, this guy gives them money, and it's offensive. Their website has not been updated. Oh, they just did a theme update. Oh, gross. Yeah, their website has not been functionally.
They have dark mode now?
No, they have rounded corners. Yeah.
That solves all the problems.
Yeah. You guys remember on Twitter when they were like, "What do you guys want?" And we were like, "Less Nazis," and they said, here's rounded corners." That's what Meetup.com did. It's the worst. It has not been functionally updated since 2007 when I first started using it. It's half broken. It deletes your events all the time accidentally. I hate it. However, far and away, the most people who show up to Burbsec say they found us via meetup.com.
God damn it.
It's the absolute worst situation.
Word of mouth?
More than word of mouth. Because like you
even
said,
close.
anytime someone new shows up, we go, "How'd you hear about us?" They go, "Oh, I was looking on Meetup for InfoSec events." I'm like,
Fucking nerds.
guys, I want us to.
Speaking from experience,
Should advertise on Grindr, maybe Bumble.
all of them.
Social media, I don't know how well social media works anymore. Back before the Rift, Twitter was a huge spot where we would get a lot of people in. I really don't have a lot of people say that anymore. However, it's really easy to post on all the socials, so we just do it. That's really good for people who at least follow you, who do social media. They're going to get that notification and say, because we'll tweet it out on the Monday before the event and go, "Oh, that's right, it's a Burbsec week, cool." And they'll get the ding, and they'll get the ding the day of. And it's good for that little reminder ding that week to plan for it.
5 minutes.
Cool, yeah, this is our last slide. Flyers. This was a fun one. I really don't know what the efficacy was, but I printed a ton of flyers once, and I gave them out to a bunch of people. And I said, "Hey, if you go co-work in a cafe somewhere around town, usually a cafe has like a bulletin board that you can post stuff for local things on. Well, that's what you're doing. Post your flyer on there. Put a little QR code that goes to whatever, and make it." Ours says, what does ours say? It's like it's Burbsec hacker meetup or something. It says learn to fight hackers and maybe learn some cool new skills or something. I don't
My
know.
favorite one is actually the sticker that Kaylee made up.
That just says,
which
come to
It's
Burbsec.
got this little girl, a animated girl going, "Come to Burbsec."
We make
And it's the most adorable thing.
we
yeah.
make tons of stickers. Oh, and by the way, if you guys collect international B-sides stickers, I got a ton in my bag here. We'll give you some. Several of us have started a B-sides 312 in Chicago. You can get some stickers.
One kind of weird one is like the Discord server for Burbsec. I'm looking at what other Burbsecs are doing, and not only do I want to do something similar at my Burbsec, I also want to promote my Burbsec to get other people who may not have been to one that lives in the area to go. So even though Discord may qualify as a social, but it's in the main group. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of internal.
Johnny, weren't you going to make a Burbsec passport at one point? Where if you go to all the Burbsecs. By the way, did we explain what the word means?
No.
Yeah.
Burbsec.
Burb in French probably means something horrible. So.
I mean, well, there's Bourbon, which is really great.
Oh,
so,
yeah, right. So it came out of, so there used to be CitySec, which was Chicago security, but all the folks that lived in the burbs that were like, "I'm fucking not driving into Chicago at rush hour," they put it up in the suburbs, meaning burb as in suburb security. So that's where the name actually came from.
Yeah.
But it could be that too.
It is.
And if anybody, seriously, if anybody here wants to start a Burbsec Quebec City, let us know because I think that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, we're happy to help you get it off the ground.
We'll put. Yeah,
All
there
right.
you go. All right.
Happy- yeah.
We'll put a Channel Canadien in the Discord. It'll be perfect.
More than happy to. Yeah,
Gotta warn you, we just might show up.
yeah, we will
Yeah.
show up.
Passport.
If you guys want this slide deck just to have all the notes and the ideas, there's a QR code. You can just grab it from there. But we have five. We had 5. So we got 5 minutes. Any have questions?
Has anyone had trouble starting a meetup group in their city?
Is this even on? Oh, it's not.
Has anyone been to Burbsec? Oh, look,
Yeah.
hey!
Stamp their passport.
Scary guy in the back, too.
Jeff's been to a few.
You notice
mentioned Burbsec after dark.
Oh wait, that's a secret. We don't say. That's the eyes wide shut party. We don't talk
Yeah,
about.
one of the secret stuff is that, like, yeah, you go to Burbsec to, like, I'm going to meet some security people. They'll get the jokes. Maybe you'll get a job. Maybe you'll find someone to hire, whatever. But, I mean, I didn't know these guys. And now, like, they're some of my best, like I'm a grown-up who's got, like, multiple friends that I see, like, multiple times a week. And, like,
I don't
they're
know
like,
if
hey,
we're
you want to go go-karting? Connor's taken me to, like, the Blackhawks game multiple times because he's had a hookup. And I'm like, hell yeah. And, like, if it wasn't for Burbsec, he'd be, like, I don't know, watching hockey by himself or some shit.
We took a trip together to California to Russian River Brewery because hackers love breweries, and he's wearing a brewery shirt, and we spent like 4 days together standing in line to drink beer.
So we didn't used to know each other.
Yeah.
This was the ride from the airport to the hotel.
All of us met. All of us met at Burbsec, and now we've known each other for over a decade. For I think all of us here, and have traveled around the world together, just from Burbsec. So
Say we're close.
yeah.
So
This is us on the way.
go for the networking opportunities. Go to make your, learn stuff, make your career better. But really, go because hanging out like you do here at Hackfest, meeting people and seeing people and talking with them and finding folks with shared interests. It's so hard to do in this disconnected time when everyone's just at home and not seeing each other. Showing up and seeing folks and building those relationships, like it seems like worked from start, but holy crap, the benefits from it are just ridiculous.
And so this talk was really about how to help you structure it with as little effort as possible.
Yeah.
That's the whole key behind this. So many people struggle with the meetup group because they try to do too much.
Wait, now you're coming in?
Yeah.
You guys missed all the good parts.
But if you come to my talk tomorrow, I'll also give you some stats on some of the amazing things that we've done for the community as part of this that you can do too.
Yeah,
All right.
go see Robert's talk tomorrow.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.